marriage is a very important step in the development of a human being. Therefore, marriage in Islam is strongly recommended. There are many Quranic verses where the practice of marriage is urged, and I notice I use the phrase practice of marriage. Marriage is not an art, it's not a science. There's going to be mistakes made. You're going to make mistakes along the way. It's not perfect. It's just like medicine. What do they say when you go to the doctor? He's practicing medicine. Where do you go when they tell lawyer? He's practicing law. These are things that are not sciences. These are hit and miss propositions. So too is marriage. Prophet said there's burden in marriage. We're going to have burden with marriage. And even though I know your circumstances, and I know how long y'all know each other and been around each other, it's going to change today. It's going to change today because now you're married. And what becomes certain, the Prophet said, don't look for the big things, look for the small things. He said, it's not Mount Everest that way, you got to stay a little pebble on your shoe. It's not the big things. He said, Satan is giving up, leading you astray in big matters. He's going to lead you astray in small little things and pick at you. And that's why you have to be careful and watch out. You know, you like to sleep with the lights on and you like to sleep with the lights off. And now there's a problem. You like to roll your toothpaste this way, so you like to smooth it out. That's stupid little things. That's how Shaitan gets us. And believe me, Shaitan does not like what you're doing. He doesn't want this because you are the children of Adam. Shaitan, who is the enemy to God? It's not Shaitan. God has no enemies. Shaitan prays to God. He prays to him in the bathroom. That's why we don't pray in the bathroom. But Shaitan prays. God has no enemies. Shaitan is an enemy to you and us. He's an enemy to Adam. He hated Adam and Adam's children. And with marriage comes more children, more Adams. That's why he don't like you. So what you're doing, it pisses him off. And he's always sending things to try to shake up a marriage and break up a marriage. He sends Ifrats out to do things. They come back and say, what did you do? He said, I convinced him to lie. He said, you did good. What did you do? He said, I convinced somebody to steal. He said, you did good. He said, what did you do? He said, I broke up a marriage. He said, you did the best. You broke up a marriage. Don't let that happen. Stick it out. Be steadfast. And don't let little things mess you up. Okay? The road is laden with burdens, bumps, and sharp turns. But the most important thing is to stay on the road. Don't get sidetracked. But if you do get sidetracked, get back on the track. So often use the straight path. Get back on the straight path. You know, the straight path is not just for the Muslims. The straight path is for the Christian that says he's a Christian and acts like a Christian. The straight path is for a Jew that says he's a Jew and acts like a Jew. The straight path is whatever path you choose. All those paths lead to God. My father used to say, son, how do you get to City Hall? I said, you take Market Street. He said, can't you take Broad Street? I said, yeah. He said, that's heaven. There's more than one road to get there. But whatever road you want, stay on that road. Don't deviate from it. Understand? The road to success is always under construction. Marriage is a process. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon. Remember that. Prophet Muhammad, prayers and peace be upon a man who was known to never have lied in his life. Said when a married couple has a good relationship based on faith in God and taqwa, reverence for God, their relationship will extend into the next life. So marriage doesn't end with this life. You'll be married in the next life. Alhamdulillah. You'll be together. A woman asked me one time, well, see, brothers, Muslims can marry more than one wife. and if a woman marries more than one man and she gets to paradise, what husband is she going to be with? The Prophet said, the one that treated her the best. Treat your wife. Okay? In my opening law, he addresses this state and mindset to which each couple should have. Marriage should be based on a reverence and a love for God first. Where it's given to both of you mutual rights. I said in it, and in your marriage contract that we signed, it says mutual rights. Too many people think that the Muslim man is here and the Muslim woman walks behind her. That's so far from the truth. They have the same rights. God says in the Quran, and they will be known by their mark. And a lot of people think that's that mark of prostration that the brothers try to get on the head when they make prayer. But sisters are believers. They don't have that mark. So that's not the mark God's talking about. He's talking about the mark you leave on the world, on humanity, on society, on your family. The first thing that you're going to be questioned about on the day of judgment is your prayers. But the first thing that you're going to be judged on is how you treated other people. Remember, and you are believers. I told you on the counseling session, look at each other as believers first, and husband and wife second, because believers have rights over each other. Okay. In another surah in the Quran, God says, وَهُوَ الَّذِي خَلَقَ مِنَ الْمَاءِ بَشَرٌ فَجَعَلَهُ نَسَابًا وَأَشُورًا وَكَانَ حَكِيمًا قَدِيرًا. And the translation of that is, it is He, God, who has created man from water. Then He has established relationships of lineage and marriage, where our Lord has power over all things. There's two things I want to comment about that ayah. The first one is it talks about two different relationships, the lineage and the marriage relationship. Lineage, what is lineage? Lineage is your bloodline. Nobody in here chose their parents. They were already here when you got here. God chose your parents for you. Nobody chose their parents. God did that. And although you think you wooed Sister Antonia with your Mac and all that, no. God had already written down that you two would be together. He established the relationship. And through that relationship comes a new lineage if you have children. And y'all looking at me kind of funny, but if y'all were to have more children, that's a new lineage. Well, God establishes that. So He says that's something that He does. And He also says this: when you marry Sister Antonia, you just don't marry her; you marry her whole family. When you marry Brother Benjamin, you don't just marry Benjamin; you marry his whole family and everything comes with it. Kids, mother, father, everything that comes with it. Two families are now married. Two families are now married. That's a beautiful thing. In other words, okay, let's look at some of the advantages of marriage. In marriage, there's comfort to the soul. Every soul wants companionship. Nobody wants to be by themselves. Nobody wants to be alone. There's beauty to look at. How beautiful does your bride look? Alhamdulillah. You know, I know you will bow to that cute. You don't look like that every day. But today, keep that mental picture in your mind. Alhamdulillah. So there's beauty to look at. There's leisure, there's joking and relaxation. You don't be uptight with your bride. You know, you don't be too stiff and stuffy with each other, because you are each other's best friend. And if you're not each other's best friend, you married the wrong person. Because if you have a best friend other than her, that's who you should have married.
That's right.
And that's why, like Vegas, what goes on between you two stays between you and two. You don't go telling your friends nothing about your wife. You don't go telling your girlfriends nothing about your husband. Because you'll lose your husband that way.
That's right.
All right? And I told you, I've been married for 30 years. I know what I'm talking about. All right? You are each other's best friend. Okay? Remember that. Remember that. If somebody comes to you and says something about your wife derogatory, you don't go back to your wife. You look at the dude who said it and say, what's wrong with you? What's your problem? And you vice versa. Okay? All these help to ease the burden of worship when it comes time for prayer and concentrate on prayer and worship. The law says in Quran in Surah 30, the Romans, He says, وَمِنْ آيَاتِهِ أَنْ خَلَقَ لَكُم مِّنْ أَنفُسِكُمْ أَزْوَاجًا لِتَسْكُنُوا إِلَيْهِ وَجَعَلَ بَيْنَكُمْ وَمَثْوَةً وَرَحْمَةً إِنَّ فِي ذَلِكَ لَآيَاتِهِ قُلْ مِنْ يَتَفَكَّرُوا. And the translation is, and among His signs is this, that He created for mates from among yourselves, that you might dwell in tranquility with them. And He has put love and mercy between your hearts. Verily, and that a sign for those who think or reflect. Love and mercy between your hearts. Nobody else could have done that but God. You met many women, you met many men, but you didn't have the love that you have now in your heart. That's what God put that in. You couldn't even do that. The word for love in Arabic is what? I explained that to you, I think. Did I explain that to you in American sense? The word for love? The word for love in Arabic is hubr. Hubr. What's the word for seed in Arabic? Remember? It's hubr. It's the same word. Why would God make the same word for love the same word for seed? Because like a seed, love has to grow. It has to grow. And it has to have nature. It has to be nurtured. You can't throw a seed on cement and expect a tree to come up. You got to put it in soil. You got to put water on it. You have to have sunlight. It has to have nutrients. It has a whole lot of stuff in order for that to blossom. Same thing with love. Men, they look at women, they in lust. Men look for lust, women look for intimacy. Men look for sex, women look for intimacy. That's why you see some of the ugliest guys with some of the beautiful women. Because they don't care about physical. They care about how you treat me. Remember.